Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Put Me in Coach podcast and YouTube channel. Welcome. Feel great to be back. Feel great to be back in the saddle. Yes, I have something that I believe that's going to inspire you today. Today, I want to talk to all my leaders today. Yes, I want to talk to my leaders. I want to talk to my educators, my managers. I want to talk to my directors, my coaches. I want to talk to my trainers. I want to talk to my ministers. I want to talk to everyone, that's in a leadership position, that has a leadership role. Yeah, specifically, I want to talk to my managers. I want to speak to, those new managers, those who have taken on, a new task. You have a new role, you have a new responsibility. However, my friend, you may lack the ability. You may have an opportunity, but you lack the ability. And that's what I want to do. I want to come alongside today, and I want to give you some tools that will help you to become a better leader. So the focus for today is 6 practices to become a better leader. First and foremost, do you feel and believe that there's room, for you to become a better leader? Do you think that, there's room for you to learn more? Do you believe that there's still room for you to grow? And if that question is being asked to me, my answer is always yes. There's always room for growth. There's always room, to go, to another level. And it's nothing worse, than having an opportunity but lack the ability. Having the opportunity to make a difference, having the opportunity to make an impact, at your job, in your career, having the opportunity, to earn more money, have an opportunity to be able to do a lot of things that you really dreamt of doing. However, you lack the ability. Now, I don't want you to get discouraged. I don't want you to get discouraged, but I want you to change your mindset. I want you to change your mindset right now. If you've been feeling like you can't do it, you've been feeling overwhelmed on your job, you've been feeling like, what, this is a daunting task. I don't know if I can handle this. This is too much supervision for me. This is too much responsibility for me. Listen, I need you to pause for a moment. I need you to take a breath for a moment. And I want you to know, my friend, that you can do this. I want you to know that you can do this. Just think about somebody that you look up to that is good. Just think about somebody, that's doing what you're doing. And you look at them, and it seems to be easy, the way they connect with people, the way they move the ball, the way they move the organization, the way in which they get people to buy into the vision of the company. You look at them and you say, wow, it looks easy. But let me let you in on a little secret, my friend. Nobody starts off good, and it may look easy for them now, but it wasn't always that way. So I want you to just give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance so you can bring about the change. But you can't bring about change until you give yourself a chance. So if you are in a leadership role, if you're looking to be in a leadership role, if you're a manager, you have a great responsibility to move your team. Listen, in order for you to be able to add value to others, you first have to have value added to you. And that's one of the purposes for this particular channel, this community, as to serve as a resource, to be able to give you the tools that you need so that you, my friend, may be effective. Once again, you may have the opportunity, but you lack the ability. Now that's learn some things so that you can have the ability, my friend, so that you can have the confidence to do that which that you really have a desire and a passion to do. So we're going to be looking at 6 practices to become a better leader. And if you feel that there is someone that you know that's in a new leadership role and they frustrated, whatever that role may be, and they can benefit from this video, I would encourage you to share it with them. Share this video with them, take some notes for them, whatever you need to do so that they can get this information and they also can become a better leader. So get you a pen, get you some paper, whatever you need to do, take the notes that you need to take, because I know that this information, my friend, is going to be valuable to you. As a speaker, teacher, trainer, and coach, one of the things that I do, I work with various organizations as well as individuals, helping them to grow in different areas, to helping them to grow as a professional, helping them grow in their individual life, helping organizations to grow, training individual staff, giving you what you need so that you can be good at what you do. And I'm gonna keep saying it, my friend, nobody starts off good. So just because you went to school and you may have gotten your degree, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're good. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have the experience that you need. Doesn't mean that you crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's. Now that you have the degree, now that you have the information, now how do you apply it? How do I apply this information? How do I step up into this leadership role and move the needle? How do I step up into this leadership role and help people to become better, help this organization to achieve its overall goal, its overall mission? Because when you're working for any company, even with your own company, there's a goal. There's a goal that we have to stay focused on. You're working to achieve a particular goal. You're working to take a team to a particular goal. But once again, my friend, nobody starts off good, but we're not going to use that as an excuse, for failure. But we're going to get better. We're going to get better, and we're going to learn some new skills. So today, once again, we're looking at 6 practices to become a better leader. 6 practices to become a better leader. And we know that, leadership, it can be tough. It can be a balancing act. It requires you to be decisive. It requires you to act with confidence. And at the same time, you must possess the humility and self-awareness to admit, my friend, that you don't know it all. Because one thing I learned about leadership, first and foremost, what is leadership? Leadership is influence. That's what leadership is. It's having the ability, to have the influence, to influence other individuals to buy into whatever that vision may be. That's what leadership is. And also, you have to understand that when it comes down to leadership and having influence, that leadership influence, it shifts. It shifts from role to role. It shifts from time to time. You may have a title, a particular title, as a leader, and your expertise may be in one thing. And then you may have someone else, their expertise may be in something else within that organization. So your expertise may be in managing, the company. That may be your expertise managing it. Then you may have someone, who expertise may be as far as finances, working in accounting, keeping, the funding part of the organization. Then you may have someone, that have expertise in and keeping the organization clean, maintenance, keeping the maintenance of the organization. So with all these different roles is different levels of expertise, and all these different roles is different levels of leadership. Because as a business manager, there may be certain things that I don't know in accounting. So I may not have as much influence as that accountant, in that particular area. So we're talking about understanding that leadership oftentimes shift, and we have to know and respect when it shifts. And just because you have that title, that doesn't mean that you have all the influence. It doesn't mean that you have all the influence. One thing about a position, it just buys you time. It buys you time to start establishing influence. Influence is not just going to happen. It takes time to establish an influence. It takes, people getting to know you, people getting to learn you, people, getting to understand you, you being visible, making yourself vulnerable. That's how we establish influence. That's how we become leaders. So we're talking about leadership. And one thing about leadership skills, and not just leadership skills, but any skill, is that all skills can be learned. And leadership, my friend, is no different. It can be learned. Everything that you need to become a good leader, a great leader, you can learn these skills. You can get better at these skills. So we're going to learn 6 practices to become a better leader. And I want you to reflect on the areas where your leadership skills can grow. For some of you, it may be one or two practices that you may have to work on. For some of you, it may be all six that you can benefit from. So we're going to look at all six practices, and we're going to look at how we can apply these practices on our job, in our career, in our home, in our ministry, whatever it is that we're doing, and we hold in the position of a manager, we hold in the position of a leader, my friend. This information can be valuable to you. So let's get started. The first of the six practices to become a better leader. The first one is inspire a shared vision. Yes, inspire a shared vision. Inspire a shared vision means to focus on outcomes and not on activities. We don't focus, just on some of the small things. We focus on outcome. What is the overall goal? What is what is it that we're looking to accomplish? What is our mission here? So we focus on outcomes. And another reason to focus on outcomes and not activities is because we know that there's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't have to do the same thing the same way to get the same results. There's more than one way to get good results. So don't just focus on on activities, but focus on the outcome. Relentlessly share why employees' work matters and how it fits into strategic company goals. Stay focused on the big picture and help employees see the change, impact, or better future that you can create together. Give employees a destination that's worth the haul. Check out a few strategies that will help you inspire a shared vision. So we're talking about staying focused on the big picture. Staying focused on the big picture and getting employees involved. Allow employees, to see that they are actually a part of the big picture. And I think that's one of the problems that most organizations have, is that there's so much separation, between, frontline workers and employees and employers and managers. And when we look at all these particular titles and positions, sometimes it separates organization. It separates the organization, especially when you keep having all these management meetings, and it seems like, the other frontline workers are not included in what's going on. And you wonder why, the company is failing, wondering why, there's so much chaos and confusion within the organization. And it's probably because there's too many closed doors. It's probably because, that's not the vision, it's not being shared. It's not being shared. How many people go to work and feel like the vision of the organization is part of their vision? You feel like, this company, it's not something that I just work for, but this is an organization that I'm a part of. How many of you feel like you're really a part of an organization? And I think that it's the management job, it's the leadership job, it's the director's job to get everyone to buy into the vision and the mission of the organization. So you have to inspire a shared vision. You have to let everybody know, that's on payroll, that we are in this together. This is a team. And when we win a championship, we win a championship as a whole. When we win a championship, everybody gets a ring. Did you know that, in professional sports, when a professional team win a championship, did you know that everybody that's a part of the roster, everybody that's a part of the team, I'm talking about the coach, everybody gets a ring. Nobody is left out because everybody participated. And that's what an inspiring, a shared vision is. Allowing everyone to know that, what we're fighting for, what we're aiming towards, this is our championship. This, what we're looking to do, this is something that we're doing together. This is our company. This is our organization. And you have to treat people as such. As a leader, you have to get them to look at the big picture. You have to get them to look at the goals and understand that their job matters. What they do matters. Them as individuals It matters. So we're looking at inspiring a shared vision. And what are some of the things that we can do to inspire a shared vision? One, use future-oriented language. Future-oriented language. Talk about, what we're going to do. Talk about where you're going to be, as an organization. Encourage people, let them know, that the opportunities, let them know that there are opportunities that await them. Let them know that they are part of where the company and where the organization is actually going at. Also, positive emotions, descriptive imagery, and stories to help employees envision where you're headed and get excited about. Listen, you got to be excited about where you're going, especially if you want your people to be excited about where you're leading them. How can I be excited about where you're leading me and where you're trying to take me if you're not excited about leading me? So you have to be excited about where you're going. And the reason that you may not be excited about where you're going as a leader, as a manager, is because you may not know where you're going. You may not understand where you're going. So you have to really understand, where are we going as an organization? And have you as a manager, have you as a leader, have you bought into the vision of the organization? And if you haven't bought into the vision of the organization, then you're not going to have that type of influence. You're not going to be able to be effective as a leader. So we're talking about that buy-in. We're talking about that at buy-in. We're talking about inspiring a shared vision, getting excited about where you're going, getting excited about where you're taking your people. You got to get excited, my friend. The next thing is invite more people to participate in company decisions to encourage buy-in for and ownership of the company's vision. Invite more people to participate in companies' decisions. One thing that I learned, and I learned this, with my daughter. I learned this with my daughter as a parent, that when you give people options, when you give them options, about certain things to do, it makes them it makes it more easy for them to do it because they had options, because they chose what they wanted to do. They was involved, in the choices. Like my daughter, I give her choices as to, what type of chores do you want to do? Okay, you can sweep down the steps, you can clean the kitchen, what you have options. You choose one. And when she choose one, we don't have a problem with her doing it because you know why? She chose it. She was involved, in decision making. If you want your people, to perform at a high peak, if you want, your people, to buy into the vision of the organization, then give them a voice. Let them be heard. Allow them to speak. Allow them to know that they are important, that their voice, it matters, that they are, in fact, a part of this organization. Because the truth of the matter is, just because, a person may be hired for one thing, you really don't know what's in that person until you really get to know them. You really don't know, the potential that that person has. It might just be a situation where they had to settle for that job. They might have just settled for that position because of whatever situation, but they may be well more advanced, way more advanced. They have something in them, but you have to get to know them. And you can't judge them based on, the degree that they have or the degree that they don't have. You can't judge people based on that. If you hired them for a reason. Now work with them. Now train them. Now encourage them. Now build them up. Now motivate them. Now take them to the next level. Because that's your responsibility as a leader, as a manager. And it's going to make you better. It's going to make you better. Give what you have. And when you don't have any more, you go get more. and you keep learning and you keep growing. The next thing is ask others about their aspirations for the company and for themselves. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Ask other people, get employees involved. What is their aspirations for the company? Where do they see themselves at, 2 years or 5 years from now in the company? Can they see themselves growing in the company? Are you making those options available to them? So ask people about their aspirations. When it comes down to working for an organization, it's always two questions that I ask. Two questions that I always ask managers, leaders, employees, employers, it doesn't matter. One question is, what are you doing here? What is your reason, for even applying for this job? What is your reason for getting up every morning and coming to work on this job? What are you doing here? That's the first question that I ask. And the second question that I ask is, what are you becoming here? And that's a very important question, my friend. Now, the first question, what you're doing here, it may vary. You might have applied for that particular job, because, it was the only thing that you could do. You might apply for that job because it's something that you really have a passion to do. You might apply for that job because you really need the money. Whatever reasons, what are you doing there? What is your why for being there as a manager? What is your why for being there as a leader, as a CEO? What is your reasons for being there? And the second question, my friend, is what are you becoming there? You've been there for 6 months and 6 weeks, and some of you've been there for 6 years. What are you becoming there at that job? What are you becoming under my leadership? What are you becoming under someone else's management? What are you becoming there? Are you becoming a better leader, a better manager? Are you becoming better leader, a better manager? What are you becoming? So I want you to ask those particular questions. What are you doing there, and what are you becoming there? And if you're not becoming great there, then ask yourself why. Is it because I don't have the tools that I need? Is it because the job don't have the resources, the training that I may need? But you have to ask these questions because you don't want to be stuck on a dead-end job. So ask yourself, what am I becoming here? What do I need to do, in order for me to become better here? What do I need to do in order for me to get a raise, to get a salary increase? What do I need to do in order for me to grow? So that I can learn and I can be better, at this particular role in this position that I hold right now. What am I becoming here? Are you becoming a better leader? Are you getting the training that you need? Are you getting the right information that you need? Are you getting the right support that you need? What am I becoming? What are you becoming there? The next thing, my friend, is energize others through your passion and enthusiasm about the company's future. Once again, you can't expect anyone else to be excited about something that you're not excited about. If you haven't bought into the vision, of the company, if you don't feel that the company has a future and a promising one, then it's going to show. It's going to show. But if you bought into the vision of the company, and you feel that the company has a promising future, then I believe, my friend, that information should flow. That excitement, it should flow. Create that atmosphere, to let everybody know that, listen, this is a win-win situation. This is not a situation, where, the company wins and the employee loses. No, this is not that type of situation. This is not the type of situation where the employers win, but the employees lose. The managers win. No, this is not that type of situation. Listen, this is the type of situation is a win-win. It's a win-win situation. And if you're in leadership and then you're in the type of manager role, you have to allow your employees know that this is a win-win situation. Show your appreciation for them. Let them know that we won. Let them know. Let them know, the progress that you're making. Let them know, when you have reached certain goals and certain milestones. Allow everyone to celebrate together. Let them know. So you got to energize others through your passion. But you first, my friend, you have to be passionate. You have to really be passionate about what you do. And if you're not passionate, my friend, then you may have to really, really ask yourself, is this something that I really should be doing? Especially when it comes down to, being in the position of authority, being in a position when you leading others, being in a position where other people are counting on you, where they bouncing off of you. Listen, my friend, you have to be energized. You have to be passionate. You have to be in the game. You have to really believe in the vision. You have to believe in the mission of the organization. And if you don't believe in it, then I don't think, my friend, that you should be somewhere where you don't believe in the vision. You don't believe in the mission because you're not gonna promote it. You're not gonna help the vision to excel. And that's not a situation, my friend, that you want to be in. We don't want to be in that type of situation. So the first thing that we talked about, my friend, is inspire a shared vision. Inspire a shared vision. For those of you may have just be joining us, we're talking about 6 practices to become a better leader. 6 practices to become a better leader. The second practice is communicate effectively. Learning how to communicate effectively. Effective leadership demands strong communication skills, whether communicating vision or strategy, coaching, giving direction, navigating disagreements, making decisions, discussing ideas, or listening to feedback. All of these activities, my friend, depend on your ability to communicate effectively. And we're going to look at some skills that's going to help you, my friend, to communicate effectively. One is be approachable. Be approachable. Actively invite the ideas, opinions, concerns, and feedback of others, regardless of their job title or authority with the company. Listen and ask questions. You have to be approachable. You have to make yourself approachable. You have to have an open door policy. Allow people to express their ideas. Allow people to express their opinions. Allow them to express their concerns. Remember that they are, in fact, a part of the team. And you also have to answer to someone as a leader and even as a manager. And you want people to hear you. You want to express your concerns. You want to be able to express your ideas. So invite other people, to express their concerns and invite them to express their ideas. Because it may very well be the answer, my friend, that you're looking for. It may very well be the answer, to the problem that you've been scratching your head to. So open yourself up, because once again, my friend, they are part of the team. And it doesn't matter what their position is. They are part of the team. Allow them to participate. The next thing is keep communication channels open. Create multiple channels for sharing and testing ideas. Encourage innovative thinking and support ways for people to suggest and cultivate new ideas. Keep communication channels open. Create multiple platforms and channels so people can communicate with you. There are so many, different channels. You can use YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. There's so many different platforms, that you can use and utilize them. Utilize those platforms, so people will be engaged. Whatever you do, my friend, don't give people an excuse. And we know that, some of the younger generation now, they're using different platforms. So if you're not up to date and up to speed, then that's what you have to do. Microsoft have so many different, platforms that you can use. So many different platforms that you can use to communicate with your team, and keep that communication open. Suggestion boxes and things like that. Leave it open, my friend. Keep communication channels open. And when we talk about communicating, we're not just talking about communicating in a sense of communicating. We're talking about having the ability to connect with those in which you are communicating with. Coming down to where the people at, meeting the people where they're at, wherever they be, reach them. If they on Facebook, reach them. If they on Instagram, reach them. If they on LinkedIn, reach them. Whatever platform you have to use, reach them. But keep those communication channels open, my friend. The next thing is let information flow freely. Be transparent and give people the information or knowledge they need to make informed decisions and do their job better. Let information flow freely. Listen, my friend, we want to be a river and not a reservoir. A river, the water continues to flow. A reservoir, the water is contained. You don't want information that's going to allow the organization to expand and grow. You don't want that information to be contained. You want that information, my friend, to continue to flow. Give people what they need so they can be effective at what they do. And that's one of the first things, that you should ask an employee as a manager. What do you need? What do you need so that you can do what you need to do? What do you need in order for you to be exceptional? What do you need in order for you to be great? And in some cases, my friend, as a leader and as a manager, when you coaching employees and you work with them, you may have more experience than them. You may know what they need more so than they know. So when you see, that there is something that can help an employee to become better and be more effective and more efficient at what they do, don't hold back on the information. Give them what they need. That's going to allow their job, my friend, to be more easier. And trust me, my friend, it's going to take a lot of stress off you. So allow that information to flow. Be transparent. Let people know. Let people know, some of the challenges that they have. Let them know that it's normal, it's natural. Be transparent and let people know, when you first started in that role and how, challenging it was for you. Let people know some of the things that you did, to become better at what you do. Some of the disciplines that you incorporated, into your business strategy that allow you to be more effective and allow you to be more valuable, to the organization. But share your information. Share your experiences. Coach somebody, mentor somebody, help somebody to be better. The next thing, my friend, is embrace disagreements. Yes, embrace disagreements. We know that, on the job, there are a lot of trainers dealing with conflict resolution. Some call it conflict management. I don't believe that, you can manage conflict. I believe you have to resolve, conflict. But embrace disagreement. And a lot of time, conflict comes from a disagreement. And it's okay, to disagree. And it's also important to set rules when it comes down, to your disagreement. There's no need, for you to lose your job because, there's a disagreement. It's no need for you to become belligerent, because there's a disagreement. But when there's a disagreement, it's a time and opportunity to learn. When there's a disagreement, it's a time and opportunity to even evaluate your information. Because there's a chance that maybe the information, that you have could be wrong. Maybe you could be wrong, during this time of disagreement. It's possible. So a disagreement, my friend, is an opportunity to grow. A disagreement is also an opportunity to learn. So we're going to ditch the I'm right, you're wrong, type attitudes. And we're going to focus on reaching shared goals or creating the best outcome instead. It's not about me being right and you being wrong. Once again, we keep the big picture in mind. How do we resolve this issue? How do we fix this problem? Also, we want to continue to encourage, critical thinking and invite questions or concerns about all ideas. Be open to learning from your team. Yes, be open. Don't allow, your titles You don't allow your titles, to cause you to be arrogant. Don't allow your titles to be the cause of your downfall, because you feel that, I have the position. Once again, we talked about, you having the opportunity but lack the ability. Because there's always going to be someone that knows something that you don't know. Just because you have the title, that doesn't mean, my friend, that you know it all. Because no one knows it all. So be open to learning from your team. It doesn't matter who it is. Who it is. Put some things on the board. Write some things on the board. Write some problems, some situations on the board, and allow your team to brainstorm, and figure some things out together. So that you can continue to learn and grow, from your team. Get them involved, in some of the assignments that you may have, as a leader, as a manager. Get some of your team members involved. Get a fresh set of eyes on it and ask them, what do they think about that? If you was in a leadership role right now, you're talking to your employees, asking them, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? How would you handle, this situation? If you was me, if you were the manager, how would you handle this? And be open, my friend. Be open to learning from your team. The next thing is communicate regularly and positively. Yes, communicate regularly every day. Set up regular meetings and check up with your employees. But I'm not talking about, the type of meetings that your employees dread. I'm not talking about the type of meetings where you even dread, the type of meetings where you feel like you just really wasted an hour and a half, 30 minutes of the day. No, I'm talking about, the type of meeting where you're checking in. You're checking in and, we're talking about, those different communication channels that you can use, to communicate to your team. And communicating, with them regularly, just to check in. It don't have to be a long meeting. It can be a brief 10, 15-minute lunch and learn. Just giving your team, a principle that they can think about. 10, 15 minutes, allowing your team, to talk about, the vision of the organization and where they fit in, in that particular vision. So we're talking about communicate regularly and positively. So we're going to approach challenges with optimism and enthusiasm, because you're going to have some challenges. Every organization, you're going to have some challenges. But it's the attitude that we have, my friend, when we approach those challenges, when we face those challenges. As a leader, it's the glass half full or it's the glass half empty. So we don't see challenges. We don't see challenges as stumbling blocks, but we see challenges as stepping stones. See challenges as the opportunity for your team to come together, for y'all to collaborate. See challenges as an opportunity for your organization to grow. So we want to keep that communication, my friend, keep it open. So developing excellent communication skills is absolutely essential to effective leadership. The leader must be able to share knowledge and ideas, to transmit a sense of urgency and enthusiasm to others. If a leader can't get a message across clearly and motivate others to act on it, then having a message doesn't even matter. So it doesn't even matter, my friend, if you have a message. It doesn't matter if you have a word. It doesn't matter even if you have the answer. If you don't have a way of communicating that answer effectively, if you don't have a way of getting that message across, then it doesn't even matter that you even have it. So look at all, the different platforms that you have. Let's look at all the different ways in which you can communicate effectively so that you can get the desired results that you're looking for. I'm going to say that again. Communicate effectively so you can get the desired results that you're looking for. So you want to always keep the results in mind. In this conversation, in this lunch and learn, in this meeting, this business meeting, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? after this meeting? What is it that I'm trying to get people to learn? What is it that I'm trying to get them to act on? Keeping that in mind, as you communicate, allowing that communication, my friend, to be clear so that they can understand what is it that you're saying and what is it that you are asking for. So we're talking about six principles, my friend, 6 principles or practices to becoming a better leader. The first one we talked about is inspire a shared vision. The second one is communicate effectively. And number 3, my friend, is enable others to act. Enable others to act. So another tip, my friend, for you as a leader, as a manager, is allow others to act. The best leaders, my friend, don't do things alone. There's no lone rangers when it comes down to leadership. You have to be able to delegate tasks, distribute responsibilities downward and throughout the company. You cannot do it by yourself. So we have to, as leaders, as managers, you have to give others the support that they need. Give them the resources and information they need to make decisions and solve problems independently. The employees shouldn't have to continue to come to you every day. They shouldn't have to rely on you every day. But you as a manager, you as a leader, you should know what your teammates need. You should know what the employees need in order to be effective. Because those are things that, you work on those things first. You equip them first. You can't expect them to go out and do their job if you didn't give them the tools that they need in order for them to be effective. So we want to first make sure that they have the resources, make sure that they have the tools that they need so they can make decisions and solve problems independently. And that's how they build their confidence. Give them the authority to be able to do what they need to do. Let them know, what, I trust you. I trust you. I gave you the tools. I gave you the authority. You make that decision because I believe and I trust that you will make the right decision. And if in fact, you have an employee, that doesn't make the right decision, once again, my friend, is a teaching moment. It's a teaching moment. Don't forget to create that environment, where people can grow. That environment where people can, they can make mistakes because that's part of their growth. So we're talking about enabling others to act, enabling others to act. So what are some of the steps that will enable others to act? 1, get to know the strengths and interests of individual team members. Delegate accordingly. As a leader, as a manager, you should know your team. You should know your team. You should know the strengths. You should know the interests of individual team members. Sometimes, when I played football, when you would go and try out for the team, and sometimes you will have players or individuals that would try out for a team and they will try out for a certain position because that's something that they felt that they wanted to do for whatever reasons. And as they begin to practice, and the more practice and practice, and sometimes something strange happens. You may have, a wide receiver. He tried out to become a wide receiver, and then before you know it, he ended up playing quarterback. The coach seen him throw the ball and say, hold up. I think you might be trying out for the wrong position. And then realize that he's really not a wide receiver. He's really a quarterback. So that's why it's important, for you to really know your team members. Because even though you may have hired someone for one thing, and they may be good at that, but there's a possibility that they may be better at doing something different. So it's important for you to get to know the strength and the interests of your individual. Once again, you may have someone that may be doing something where they can do, but they may not really have an interest, a strong interest in it. They may have a stronger interest in doing something else, which would allow them to be more effective in doing that. So it's important for you to listen to your team and listen to your employees. Listen to them. Look at their strength. Listen to that passion and the things that they're interested in. And it may very well take your company to a whole nother level a lot faster. The next thing is place others in roles with greater authority, with greater power and autonomy. Give them new responsibilities that complement their skill sets. So place others in roles with greater authority, power, and autonomy. Get people in roles, where they can exert their leadership. Get them in roles where they can, practice, how to be effective communicators. Give them the authority, give them the power that they need. And once again, give them new responsibilities that complement their skill set. New responsibilities, not the same thing over and over and over again. Because that's why you have a lot of employees, they burning out. They burning out because everything that they do at work is redundant. Everything they do is repetition over and over and over again, and there's no mental growth. There's no growth. They're not growing. They stagnated. They getting bored on the job. Remember that question? When am I becoming? What am I becoming here? I mean, every day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 40, 50 hours a week. What am I becoming here? Am I doing the same thing over and over again? Am I giving new tasks? Am I giving new responsibilities, that complement, my skills, that would allow me to continue to grow as an individual, as a professional, on the job. The next thing is coach or mentor upcoming leaders. Coach and mentor. And we're going to be doing a video separate on coaching and mentoring, because there is a difference, my friend, between coaching and mentoring. Coaching and mentoring, they are not the same thing. So we will be doing a separate video on that. And I ask that you would, continue to stay tuned and locked in, because as a manager, as a leader, we want to come alongside and coach the next leader, mentor, the next leader. The next thing is promote collaboration, information sharing, and cooperative goals. Collaboration, creating an environment, where your team can work together. Creating a type of environment where, information is being shared, and information, my friend, is not being hoarded. Don't withhold information from somebody in the organization that can use that information and benefit from that information. Because if you keeping it from them, really you keeping it from the organization. If you trying to keep an individual in a company from being successful, ultimately, my friend, you're sabotaging your own success, because you're also part of that organization. So we as leaders, we should want everyone on the team, to be great at what they do. We should want everyone on the team to be effective, at what they do. Because the more effective they are, and the better qualified they are at what they do, then it's going to make what I do that much more easy. And it's also going to put me in an environment where I can grow and where I can learn from other people. Because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And if you are the sharpest knife in the drawer, my friend, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you might need to put yourself in another room, because you never want to be in a room where you're the smartest one. Always surround yourself around people where you can learn from and where you can grow from as well. So we promoting collaboration, and we sharing information. We're not hoarding anything. We're not withholding anything from anybody. The next thing, my friend, is support the ideas of others and give them permission to act. We're talking about, that authority. You're going to have, people that's going to come to you at the job, on the workplace, on the work site. They're going to have ideas. Support their ideas. Get behind their idea. Give them the resources that they need. Give them the green light. Give them the go ahead. Give them permission, to be able to act on some of their ideas. The ideas that's going to make what they do better, that's going to make them more effective. The idea that's going to move the needle towards the goal of the organization. The idea, that's going to get the organization and company a championship at the end of the year. Yes. Get behind that. Support those ideas and give them permission, my friend, to be able to act on it. The next thing is give others a level of control and ownership over how they approach their work. Yes. You can't expect, employees to do things the way that you do it. But you have to give them a level of control, of ownership, especially, if they have proven themselves to be effective. Don't expect them to wear your armor. Don't expect them, to do things the way that you have been taught how to do it. If the way that they do it and the way they have been taught is different, but it's still effective, give them that control. Give them that ownership over their work. Give them the freedom that they need, to be innovative, the freedom that they need in order for them, my friend, to excel and grow at what they're doing. Once again, overall, it's about the big picture. It's about the big picture. And when you give someone, a level of control and ownership of how they approach their work, it puts them in a position to level up. And it eliminates the excuses, because now they don't feel the restraint of having to do things one way, but they have the freedom, they have the liberty, they have the power, the authority that they need for them to be creative and for them, my friend, to be effective. So we're talking about enabling others to act. Enabling others to act. Howard Schultz says that people want guidance, not rhetoric. They need to know what the plan of action is and how it would be implemented. They want to be given responsibility to help solve the problem and authority to act on it. People are looking for guidance. And you as a coach, you as a leader, a minister, you that's in a leadership role, people are looking for you to guide them. They're looking for you to give them responsibility to help solve the problem. They want to be involved because that's why they signed up. When they applied for that job, they said, put me in, coach. That's what they said. When they applied for that position, they said, put me in, coach. I'm ready to get in the game. I'm ready, to be involved in this organization. I'm ready to put my talents and my gifts to use. That's what they're saying. They saying, put me in. So don't. And this is something that also that I used to see in sports. And I never really could understand it. I remember, like, in sports, you would have to have a certain amount of players on the team. And people would come and everybody would come to practice and everybody would practice hard. And not everyone made the team. But what I found to be striking was, even for those who made the team, not everyone got in the game. Not everyone got in the game. And I never really understood that. Why would you put somebody on a team if you're not going to put them in the game? And I think that for the most part, my friend, it's not good leadership. Because if you're not going to put me in the game, then I shouldn't be on the team. Because there's other things that I could be doing. If I made the team, if I was good enough to make the team, then I should be good enough to get in the game. So if you have employees that's not in the game, then you have to ask yourself why. Why did I put them on this team if I'm not going to put them in the game? Because when you put somebody on the team, you put them on the team because you train them, you work with them, and you feel that they can contribute to the team in some way. So allow people to contribute, allow them to get better. But you shouldn't have someone on your team that you have on the bench, because when they applied for that job, they said, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready to get in the game." So get them in the game. Everybody that's on your roster should be involved. Everybody that works for your company should be visible. They should be visible. They should be in the game. So the fourth principle and practice that we're going to look at, my friend, is make it safe to fail. Yes, create an environment that fosters innovation as well as collaboration, risk taking, by making it safe for employees to fail. Because one thing about the fear of failure is detrimental to growth. It can lead to analysis paralysis. It can lead to indecision making, or prevent employees from taking on new challenges. So we have to create that environment. It's okay. It's okay to fail, but it's not okay to quit. Because one thing about failure is one of the ingredients to success. So you don't want your employees to be paralyzed by indecisions. You don't want your employees to be paralyzed because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid of taking on new challenges, because they failed before and it didn't end well. They may have been, sent home without pay or suspended because they failed. No, you don't want to do that. Because you're not going to find no one who is great that has not failed. No one, not even you. So when we create that environment where, we allow our employees to fail, but fail forward, allow them to evaluate and analyze the situation and see, okay, what is it that you could have done different? What could you have done different? Let's look at this and learn from this. And let's grow from this. So we're going to look at some ways that you can avoid these challenges and create an environment that embrace failure. Yes, we're going to look at some ways to embrace an environment that creates failure. One is to encourage employees to share ideas, even if they aren't fully formulated. Yes, encourage them. Encourage them, to share their ideas. It may not have an end result, but share it anyway. Share your ideas anyway. Because you may come with one piece and then someone else may say, you know what? I got the other piece to that puzzle. Remember, we're a team. We're working together. So you want to encourage your team to share your ideas. The next thing is recognize and reward those who challenge themselves. Step outside of their comfort zone, who own up to their mistakes and work to solve them. Yes, reward those and recognize those who challenge themselves. They step outside of their comfort zone. Recognize them. Recognize them. Give them something. Support them. Let them know. Let them know that you see their progress. Let them know that you see the initiative that they're taking. Let them know that you see their growth. Compensate them. Let them know. Because when you let them know, and you compensate them and you give them a pat on the back, listen, the only thing that's going to do, it's going to make them want to work more harder. It's going to make them want to do better because they know that they're being watched. They know that they're being recognized, not just for the things that they do wrong, but they're being recognized and exposed for the things in which they do right. So we have to get in the habit and become more intentional about catching people doing things right on the job. Yes, catch them doing things right. Catch them handling a customer right, handling the sales right. Catch them catching a situation, or finding something, a problem before it goes out the door. Yeah, catch people doing things right. And not focus so much on when they're doing something wrong. Acknowledge it and reward them. The next is be vulnerable. Share your personal stories of failure. What you learn from those experiences and how you bounce back. Yes, be transparent. Let people know, when you fail. Let people know, when you messed up, because we all have those stories. We all have those stories of failure. We all have those stories of when we messed up and when we missed the mark. Share your stories. Let people know, that you are human as well. Don't you know there are so many people who are intimidated, by their managers and, intimidated by CEOs because, there's communication, but there's really no connection. There's really no connection there. You shouldn't be intimidated and by your supervisor and your employer. You shouldn't feel intimidated, but you should feel valued. You should feel supported. You should feel wanted. That's how you should feel. Now, let's move on. Let's move on. Talking about be vulnerable. We talked about being vulnerable. Share your personal stories of failure. Yes, be vulnerable. Let people know what you've been through. And it's going to be, and some of the things that you may see your employees fail at, it may be similar to the areas in which you failed at. It may be some of the same, mistakes that you made. But don't act as if you didn't make no mistakes. Don't act as if, you perfect, that you did it right the first time. No, let them know that, listen, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I actually made that same mistake when I started. I actually did that same thing. Let them know. Let them know. Let them feel like, you're part of the team. Let them know that, it's okay for you, my friend, to make mistakes here. This is that type of environment. It's okay. The next thing is communicate the role of failure in change and growth. Yes, let people know once again what I've been talking about. Communicate the role of failure. Let them know that failure has a role in success. It has a role in success. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, but fail forward. Fail forward, my friend. Keep on failing. Keep on trying. Don't give up. Whatever you do, don't quit. And learn from your failure. Ask yourself the question, what did I do wrong? What other options did I have? Who could I have talked to? What other resources do I have? So ask yourself the question so that you can learn, from those failures. And the next thing, my friend, is train managers on strategies to recover from failure. So work on some strategy, learn, some different strategies in which you can use to train managers how to recover, from their failure. One of the things that I do is, I take a pause moment, a pause moment to reflect, reflect on, okay, what is it, what is it first that I was trying to do? What is my goal? What was my goal? What is my objective? And what is it that I did wrong? What was it that I could have done different? Once again, asking those questions, taking that pause moment, assessing the damage, of that particular failure. And that's one of the first things, assessing it, see, how damaging it could be, and letting somebody know, letting somebody know. Don't try to hide it. You don't try to hide your failure, but let somebody know. As soon as you recognize it, let somebody know. And if somebody else recognizes your failure and they point it out to you, listen, embrace it. Don't become combative, don't become argumentative, but embrace it. Let them, remember when they identify something, an area that you may be weak in, is for a reason, because once again, you're a team. You're a team. And that weakness, that weak link is going to affect the whole chain. So if somebody, see a weak area in your life, or if they see something that, you may have failed or messed up in, embrace it, appreciate that person, let them know, what, thank you for catching that error. Yes, I'm right where I need to be because I'm in an environment where I can grow. I'm in an environment where I can continue to learn. There's a quote by a guy named Paulo. He says, there's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, and that's the fear of failure. The fear of failure, because a fear of failure, it would paralyze you and it would keep you, my friend, from progressing. It keep you from moving forward. So we don't want to fear failure, but we embrace failure. So the fifth thing that we're going to look at, my friend, the fifth thing that we're looking at, the sixth practice to becoming a better leader, the sixth practice or the fifth practice to becoming a better leader is be a role model. That's the fifth practice, be a role model. Leaders can also fall short when they talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. So we have to practice what we preach, as they would say, or be consistent with our words, be consistent with our values, be consistent with our actions, to be able to build credibility, to foster trust and earn the respect of your team. So we have to be a role model, demonstrate the behaviors that you wish to inspire in others. Lead by example. And when you lead by example, my friend, employees will follow. So we're going to look at some of the things that you can do to be a better role model. One is keep your promises. Keep your promises, because your word, my friend, it is your bond. If you tell your team that you're going to do something, do it. Keep your promises. If you're going to, provide some resources for your organization, then do it. If you're going to start giving, your team more leeway to be able to make some different choices, do it. But whatever you do, keep your promises. Keep them. Keep your word. The next thing to help you become a better role model is model your values. Model your values. Lead by examples. Don't leave your values at home. You might be a Christian leader. Just because you have a job, that don't mean that you're no longer a Christian. You're just a leader or a Christian with a leadership role. So model your beliefs. That doesn't mean you have to go, to your job, preaching to people, telling them about Jesus Christ, but model your belief, allow people to see your light, allow your light to shine, allow the people to know, that you are a person of your word. Allow them to know that you are a person of integrity. Allow people to know that you are serious, about your life, and that you actually really care about people. So model your values as a leader, model your values, as a manager. And the next thing is be consistent. Make sure that your actions, align with your word. That's nothing, worse than inconsistency when it comes down to someone in leadership. Be consistent. Know exactly what you want. Know exactly what you expect, from yourself, from your organization, from your team, and be consistent across the board. Because when you have a team and they recognize that inconsistency, in your leadership, then it's going to be inconsistency, in their following. It's going to be inconsistency in the overall results of the organization. So make sure that you are consistent. Make sure you are consistent. If you're gonna, speak and getting in at work and start speaking, be consistent, about speaking. Be consistent, about going to work, and knowing that the people is your work, and not just paperwork, but knowing that the people is your work. Be consistent about, going to work in the morning and greeting people. Be consistent about that. Be consistent about asking, employees if they need any assistance with anything. Be consistent by allowing them to know that you have their back. Be consistent in everything that you do as a leader, as a manager. Just be consistent. And the next thing is adopt behaviors before you ask others to. Adopt behaviors before you ask others to. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't ask, other people to do something that you're not doing. So you adopt behaviors, before you ask others to, being on time, being courteous, being, respectful, getting in a habit. Once again, developing a culture, creating a culture shift, where you work at, developing, the type of culture where people speak to each other, the type of culture, that promotes growth. Yes, having, in the morning, coming in and having positive affirmations. Just creating that environment where people feel welcome and know that this is where I want to be and this is where I belong. That type of environment and culture where people, are answering the question, what am I becoming here? And they're able to say, I'm becoming more disciplined here. I'm becoming a better leader here. I'm becoming, more focused here. Becoming a better strategist here. In every area as it pertains to my gifting, I'm becoming better. And if you can honestly say, you ask that question, when I be coming here, and you can say that I'm becoming better, then you, my friend, might be where you need to be. And as a leader, and when you ask your employees, what are they becoming here? And they can't tell you, you know what, I'm becoming better here. I'm becoming stronger here. I'm becoming more valuable here. Then you may have to ask yourself, what is it that's missing? What is it that I'm doing wrong that may not be contributing to that person becoming great, to that person becoming more, accessible and more effective in this organization? So be consistent and adapt behaviors before you ask others to. The next thing is take time for reflection, practice self awareness, introspection, and self discipline. Because you, my friend, you're still on a growth journey. Just because you have the position, just because you have the title, and just because you've been doing it for a while, that doesn't mean that you have an excuse or reason not to grow. Remember, because you are a leader, and leaders are readers. Leaders are individuals that are constantly growing because you have been entrusted with a vision, my friend. So you have to take time as a leader, as a manager, to reflect, to practice, self-awareness and introspection and self-discipline, making sure that you're getting better so that you can help others get better. Because we know that you can't give what you don't have. So this channel, my friend, this actually is designed and created for that purpose, so that you can get better, so that you can, take that introspection and practice that self-awareness and say, you know what, I can get better. I can become a better leader. I can sharpen my tools. That some of these practices, I really can use some of these practices to help me to become better, as a leader. As a leader, it's a major responsibility on your shoulders to practice a behavior you want others to follow. Yes, I'm gonna read that again. As a leader, it's a major responsibility on your shoulders to practice the behavior you want others to follow. Yes, it is. It's a major responsibility, my friend, and don't take it lightly. Because you're trying to get other people to follow you. You're trying to get other people to follow in your footsteps, direction in which you're trying to get them to go in. So you have to ask yourself some very tough questions. Am I worthy of being followed? Am I really worthy of being followed? Do I have, the people that's following me, do I have, their best interest? Do I hold their best interests? So ask yourself some very important questions, as a leader, and where you trying to take, these people. Are you equipped, to get them where, you need them to go? So we're going to continue to move on. We're talking about practices, 6 practices to become a better leader. 6 practices, my friend, to become a better leader. The first practice that we looked at was inspire a shared vision. The second practice is communicate effectively. The third practice is enable others to act. The fourth practice is make it safe to fail. The fifth practice is be a role model. And the sixth practice and final practice is bring out the best in others. And that's what a leader does. A leader come alongside to help bring out the best in others. A leader doesn't put others down. A leader is not there to criticize others, but a leader is there to build them up. You let people know, I believe in you. I believe in your potential. And I believe that, with the right training, the right coaching, the right, material, I believe that there's nothing that you can do. So that's what we want to do with this channel. We want to bring out the best in others. We want to bring out the best in others. I, far too often, I go into establishments and we see employees' behavior. We see managers' behavior that is unacceptable. And if you are a manager, if you're running an organization, you don't want that. You don't want that out of your managers. You don't want that out of your leaders. But you want them to be able to lead by example. You want them to be able to bring out the best in others. And that's what we're talking about. We're working on some practices that's going to help us to become a better leader, to help us, to become more effective. So in what we do, these are tools, my friend, that's going to help to sharpen your knife so that you could be more effective at what you do in helping others to do what they have been called to do. So bringing out the best in others. So how are you keeping your team motivated? How are you, keeping your team engaged? Positive affirmations, a word of the day. What are you doing, to keep your team motivated? Sending them positive quotes, sending them positive affirmations, sending them videos, giving them daily reminders, that you believe in them. Giving them weekly reminders, measuring the goals and let them know how far they've come and how close they are to achieving those goals. Rewarding people, for doing things right. How do you bring out the best in others? Giving them the tools and the resources, that they need so that they become better. Investing in them, giving them, the proper training that they need so that they can become better. So how are you keeping them engaged? How are you keeping them motivated? Giving them new responsibility. When it comes down, to your job, when it comes down, to your title and your position, what was the last time you did something different on your job? When was the last time? When was the last time you did something different? Or do you continue to do the same thing over and over and over again? I mean, there's no innovation at all. There's no creativity at all. Just the same thing over and over again. And my friend, it doesn't have to be that way. So what are you doing to keep your team motivated? What are you doing to keep them engaged? What are you doing to keep them to focus on the big picture? Now, leaders are most successful when they challenge and encourage others to reach their full potential. Invest in them. Give them the tools that they need. Equip them, my friend, to be great. So let's look at some practical strategies that would allow us to do this. One, celebrate your team's accomplishments. We talked about that. Small victories and big ones regularly. The small as well as the big ones, celebrate it. Celebrate them. Let them know that you see them. Let them know that you value them. But celebrate them, whether small victories or big wins, celebrate it. The next thing is recognize team members' contributions. Give credit what credit is due. Don't take all the credit. If someone, contribute with an idea, recognize it. Let everyone know that John came up with this particular idea. Let them know that Stacy came up with this particular idea. Let them know that Keisha, invented something. But find ways, my friend, find ways to contribute to your team and to recognize, their contribution. The next thing is get to know individuals and what motivates them. Get to know people. Get to know people that you're supervising. Get to know people, that you are leading. Get to know them. Know them as individuals. Ask them, questions. Ask them what is some of the things that they're passionate about. What are some of their hobbies? Ask them about, their family. Do they have kids? You should know some of these things. Do they like dogs? Do they love to travel? Ask them what are some of the things that inspires them? What are some of the things that motivate them? And take action. And take action. And you can make little gestures that propels them, to go to that next level. But get to know them on an individual level. Because sometimes, as managers and leaders, Sometimes people fail to realize that people are people. People are people. And when you come to work and bring everything with you. But when you get to know people on an individual level, you'll be able to recognize when they may have a bad day. You can see where they may just need a word of encouragement. You can tell because you took the time to get to know them. You took the time to be concerned about the things in which they concerned about. And at that very moment, my friend, in their life, their concern may not be this job. That may not be their concern. Their concern may be a bill. That if not paid may cause them to lose their home or, lose their car, or their concerns may be, how they going to deal with the grief that they're dealing with from losing a loved one. So you really never know, what a person may be going through. Because I always say that a person is either going through something or they even coming out of something. So at any given time, I believe that we all can use some motivation. We all can use a little inspiration. We all can use someone, to probe a little bit and let us know, what? I don't really know what's going on outside of work. But I'm gonna keep you in my prayers if that's okay with you. I know, it can work out. Also, you wanna be able to recommend resources that you may have. Resources, it may be a person that's grieving. So you may be able to, assist them and connect them, with grief counselors that you may have at the job, or if they don't have it, they have them somewhere else. But once again, let people know that you really care about them as an individual. And you don't just care about the bottom line of the organization, but you care about them. So get to know individuals. Get to know what they like to eat. Yes, get to know, what inspires them. What motivates them, what energizes them. Get to know them, my friend. And the next thing is give challenging assignments and set high standards. Share your confidence in your team's ability to reach them. Challenging assignments, set high standards. Teach them and then quiz them. Teach them and then quiz them. Give them brief quizzes. Give them challenging assignments, set high standards. Let them know how much you believe in them. Let them know that they can do this. That's what we want to do. Set high standards. Share your confidence in your team's ability to reach these particular standards. Because when you give them the proper training, my friend, and you give them the attention that they need, then it's not going to be a problem with giving them challenging assignments. It's not going to be a problem with setting high standards because your standards are high. And you created the right environment, a learning environment, and you have given them the tools that they need, the resources that they need. You gave them everything that they need in order for them to be successful. You even gave them the opportunity to fail. Yes, my friend, give them challenging assignments. So we're talking about ways that you can bring out the best in others. And the last thing is talk to team members about where they want to grow within the company, then help to identify or make opportunities that will get them there. So you want to talk to those on the team about where they want to grow within the company. When am I becoming here? What am I becoming here? Is there growth opportunities here in this organization? And let's talk about, those growth opportunities. Are you looking, to go back to school? Have you considered going back to school? Because we have growth opportunities in this particular area, we have tuition reimbursement if you decide that you want to go back to school. So what is it that you're looking to do? So have that communication and let people know that there are growth opportunities. Let them know about the future of the organization, how the organization and it may be looking to expand and what they're going to be needing in the next 2-3 years from now. What type of positions is going to be available and be open. So you want to talk to team members about what they want to grow, about where they want to grow within the company, and give them the tools that they need so that they can do it. And it may be a situation where, there may not be any growth opportunities. I've interviewed, even with organization, and I even asked that question, is there any growth opportunities? And some said no. And I think that's sad. I don't think there should be any organization that exists where there's no growth opportunities. There should always be an opportunity for every organization to get better. So think about that. If you manage a company, CEO for a company, and there's no growth opportunities, that means you're saying that your employees are stagnated. You meaning that they're stuck. And I assure you, my friend, if you have an environment where people can't grow, it's going to create a high turnover rate. It's going to create a high turnover rate because people are constantly asking the question, what am I doing here? And what am I becoming here? If I'm coming to work every day and there's no opportunity for me to grow, no opportunity for me to make more money, there's no opportunity for me to excel, then there's a chance, my friend, that I may not be there long. So there should always be an opportunity for your team to grow. There should always be an opportunity within the company, for team members to be able to get better. And if your organization don't have a training department, if your organization, my friend, don't have training programs, then that my friend is a red flag. It should be a red flag for you. Because how are you expected to grow if you don't have the proper training? How do you expect to grow when an organization don't have the resources that would enable you to grow, that would enable you to get better? So even before you even apply for a job, make sure you ask the right question. Is there growth opportunities in this organization for me? Is there opportunity for me to become better? Is there opportunity for me to even one day to become a manager or leader, have a leadership role in this organization? So we want to ask those questions as well. Simon Sonic says, a star wants to see himself rise to the top. A leader wants to see those around him rise to the top. Yes, leaders want for others what he wants for himself. He wants to see others rise and not just himself. So we want to check our understanding. I'm going to give you a brief test. Yes. And check our understanding of what we learned and what we went over. Okay, there are many ways that you can become a better leader. Let's look at this short quiz. This is true or false? Yes, I want you to answer it. Leaders should avoid admitting failure in front of employees to prevent losing their confidence and trust. True or false? Leaders should avoid admitting failure in front of employees to prevent losing their confidence and trust. False. Right? Is that false or is that true? That's false. Yes. Don't be afraid of admitting failure. We talked about that transparency. Don't be afraid of admitting failure as a manager, as a leader, because it's not going. If anything, it's going to build confidence. It's going to build trust. It's going to allow your employees to be able to connect with you in a human way. It's going to allow them to know that, listen, this person, they growing too. They learning too. They understand my role and position. And when you're not so hard on yourself, you're not going to be that hard on others. The next question is, what does it mean to inspire a shared vision? Get employees personally invested in the company's future and share how their work contributes to bigger goals. Present the business plan to employees or train employees to share a similar approach to work and solving problems. So the answer is get employees personally invested in the company's future and share how their work contributes to bigger goals. Yes, we talked about what it means to inspire a shared vision. The third question is, what is an advantage of distributing responsibility? What is one of the advantages of distributing responsibility? One, it allows you to focus on higher level tasks and decisions. Two, it allows you to focus on higher level tasks. I just read in decisions. Two, it gives others an opportunity to build their leadership and problem solving skills. Or three, it engages your team and make them more adaptable and resilient. And the answer, my friend, is all the above. What is the advantage of distributing responsibility? It's all the above. It engages your team and makes them more adaptable and resilient. It gives others an opportunity to build their leadership and problem solving skills. And it allows you to focus on higher level tasks and decisions. So in summary, my friend, I'm gonna go over what we learned, what we went over. Um, no leader is perfect. Yes, no leader, my friend, is perfect. Nobody starts off good. And there's always more ways that you can improve your leadership skills and produce better results for your company and team. And 6 of the top practices that can make you an immediate difference in your ability to lead include what we went over, which was inspire a shared vision, communicate effectively, enable others to act, make it safe to fail, be a role model, and bring out the best in others. So I want you to identify what areas you can strengthen and commit to raising the bar for yourself. What are some of the areas that you feel that you can be strengthening and raise the bar? Work on those areas because every improvement that you make as a leader will only be reflected and magnified by your business and your team. Every choice, every decision is going to be magnified by your team, the choices that you make. So never stop improving. Approach leadership development as a continuous process. Seek continuous feedback on how you can improve as a leader or create a better workplace. See what works, find out what doesn't, and keep adjusting and honing your skills, my friend. Continue to grow, continue to get better, continue to log in, continue, to be engaged, in this particular podcast and channel, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on growth. I'm going to come alongside as often as I can and give you information, my friend, that's going to help you to get better. If you would like, this particular information, if you like this particular course, because this is one of the many courses, in my leadership development program, and Put Me in Coach. This is one of the many courses that I offer that's going to help leaders to grow. You can utilize this information, this particular course, my friend. You can train with this information, this particular course. You can help the coach with it. So if you want this information, if you feel that this information was valuable to you and you would like a hard copy, of the lesson, that I'm actually teaching and training from, I want you to reach out to me. Also go to my website, www.putmeincoaches.com. A lot of information there, a lot of resources there that's going to help you to become a better leader, a better trainer, a better manager, a better pastor, a better minister, just to help you to serve a better servant, because that's actually what a leader is. A leader, is a person of influence who serves others. So I want you to be great today. I want you to be inspired today. I want you to hit that like button, subscribe button. I want you to share this video, to teachers, lecturers. Once again, share it, with managers, individuals that you believe that this information can be valuable to and help to add value to. I want you to be great today. I want you to be inspired today. And once again, put me in, coach. Put me in the game. I'm ready to become a better leader. I'm ready to become a better person. I'm ready to take, my leadership to the next level. I'm ready to grow. And remember, my friend that put me in, coach, we believe in two things. One, we believe that your dreams matter. And two, we believe that it's your story. And you, my friend, can rewrite it if you want to. Continue to be great. Continue to be inspired.